So I'm deciding to start this intro video with a nice background in case I talk forever and drone out. You can have something nice to watch. Anyways, no. We decided that we have a lot to say. We've slowly over many years kind of driven towards more of like this family adventure slash self-sufficiency slash somewhat hippie, somewhat bohemian style life. And in doing this, it wasn't ever a decision that we were just like, we're gonna be that, and we turned on a charm and became that. It's been over many years that we've become that way. And we realized that we have a lot of different things that as we were going through and figuring out ourselves, we wish that there would have been resources for us. And so best case scenario, we can be a resource for other people. Worst case scenario, which is still a win, we document everything for our family for years down the line. But to the point at hand, we want to start a hippie commune. Now, let's be clear. What ended up happening was we've started recognizing years ago, these are lots of different stories you'll probably get to hear eventually, that we wanted to live a lifestyle away from what the normal consumerism of America is, kind of. We recognize that Americans have this tendency to want to consume everything. You know, consume money and wealth, consume food, consume news stories, consume all of your time with things that need to be done, consume your mind, really. And once you recognize that and see that, you can't fully get away from it. And we started seeing it and decided to do something about it, which started small, like this. This is gonna be our greenhouse. We've been doing our own garden over there for a long time, and as part of self-sustainability, we didn't do it for that reason. We did it to save a little bit of money, and in doing so, we're able to realize that there were a lot of benefits from it, and then you kind of start on this slippery slope towards living that environmentally aware lifestyle, so to say. Then we started adventuring out into the world and backpacking because we were adventuring in our own backyard, and we just moved that towards adventuring into the world. And we decided to take a family trip out to Yellowstone, and in doing some research for that, I stumbled upon Adventure Archives. If you don't know those guys, you should. They're pretty sweet. They do a lot of backpacking, and they just kind of document that time, and started doing like researching some of these vlogs and blogs out there and using them for myself. It was never quite what I wanted from like my family-based style. And then we went out to Yellowstone and came back and started doing a lot more backpacking. That's kind of our story in a horribly botched up nutshell. My brother, very similar lifestyle. He and his partner Whitney have a mixed family, just like Cody and I. We're married, but we have a mixed family from I brought to the family, and then we have 2 children together. And my brother Tim has 2 children, and Whitney has 2 children, and they came together. And they're both very open-minded, and they have the same mindset as we do. And we started, I introduced them to Adventure Archives, and we were looking at doing some backpacking trips together. And the more we got together and talked, it was like, oh, greenhouse and self-sustainability, us too. Oh, adventuring out in the world, us too. Oh, normal society, screw that, us too. And we started realizing how common it is. But most importantly, I think during coronavirus, which is, we're in the middle of that pandemic right now, Cody and I were fortunate in recognizing that our lifestyle didn't change much. We had already made some of these switches in the world, and it made staying in and staying home easy for us because we already garden, we already homeschool, we already do a lot of these things. But it's been very hard for a lot of people in the world, and I think we've, as a society, have gotten so driven by consumption and economy and all these things that are out there that we forget about what's right in front of you and what's in your backyard and what's right around you in the world and what you can use already and the people and resources and family and community and all of this. And we're like, we really need to tap into that more. And we need to spread that message now, because our world needs more local, sustainable, thoughtful resourcing. My brother and Whitney felt the same way. And what started out as a joke, we should start a hippie commune, has slowly turned into a reality. And we decided that before we get too far, we really need to document this. We've got a lot of energy going into this. The possibilities are endless of what we could do with this if we have our family and their family that are committed to making changes in our lives and doing something and helping others along the way and providing services along the way. That could be potentially game-changing for other people and motivating for other people, and we could make a difference for ourselves, for others. So we decided that, well, what do we want to do? It would be really nice if we had a bit of land that you could build something on. Slowly, maybe you could just go there and maintain the land at first. Maybe even eventually you could live there. Maybe even make a living from there. So that's where we are. Did you say that's where we are? We're starting with the greenhouse. Get my other hand going. I'm a noob. My kids would hate me. Starting with our greenhouse. Starting with Tim and Whitney. We're gonna document our adventures. Build a hippie commune.